Hi guys! So, oh wait, do I have to be like gods and goddesses with you in the car? No, I'm not gonna do that. So, this is the start of a new thrifting vlog. Me and my boyfriend, say hello.
Hello, I'm her boyfriend.
We are gonna go to a bunch of thrifting places and see if we can find anything, and then I'll do a haul at the end. And we're gonna get some Starbucks right now and just go thrifting. So yeah, yes, we're going to Starbucks because I want coffee. Okay, let's go. Bye. Alright guys, I'm back home. It's a new day. We got a new Hawaiian shirt on. Let's get started. Alright, so I figured before I get into the books that I found at the thrift store, I would go into my tips, because that's the whole point of this video. I want to give you guys some tips to hopefully get really good hauls yourself, because thrifting my books has honestly changed everything. Like, if you see my shelves here, all of them are thrifted except for maybe 10 of them. Like, no more than a dozen of them I have bought full price. And it's just so much fun too, especially when you find a book that has been on your TBR in the thrift store. It is just so satisfying and gratifying, and just, it's like treasure hunting. It really is. My first tip is that know your area. You want to make sure you look up all of the thrift stores in your area, even like across the town if you live in a small town, maybe in the closest bigger city. For example, you want to kind of divide it between major corporations and local thrift stores. Major corporations are stores like Goodwill, Salvation Army, America's Thrift Stores, things of that nature. You want to make sure, look it up. I use Yelp, but you could also just use Google. And then smaller thrift stores, like locally owned thrift stores, that is especially where Yelp comes in handy, because a lot of times there will be like reviews, and there will sometimes be like pictures that you can look and see, because sometimes smaller thrift stores don't even have books, so it's good to look and make sure that you're not wasting your time, you know? I personally recommend larger corporations if you have those available, because through my experience, I've noticed that larger corporations have much more variety, and they also have much more like newer relevant books as opposed to smaller thrift stores. There are of course exceptions, but this is all just a generalization. That's like a whole other area, is if you want to thrift for clothes. But if you guys are interested in that, I can do another video on that, because I thrift too many clothes as well. Go as often as you can. Trust me, if you think you have shitty thrift stores and you're just like, Heather, listen, my Goodwill isn't as poppin' as yours, I can't do this. Trust me, you may be surprised. I go thrifting 2 to 3 times a week. 2 at the minimum. You have to go thrifting all the time. You have to dedicate time to it, because they're constantly stocking and shifting stuff around. You have to go often, because if they get a popular book or popular things, it's gonna go really, really fast. I went to a Goodwill once and I saw a copy of The Lost Hero and another Percy Jackson book, and I saw it on the shelf. I already had it, of course, so I didn't pick it up. And then I just went shopping in like the clothes section, and then when I went back to the bookshelf, they were gone. So like, that's just same day, and it is definitely time consuming, but me personally, I love it. So it's honestly a hobby for me. It's not a chore. So definitely take that into consideration. Thrifting for books definitely takes a lot of time, a lot of energy. You have to go very often, but to me, the payoff is priceless. Another tip is to have Goodreads on hand, because all the time whenever I go thrifting and I see a book that kind of like sparks my interest, but it's not like a popular series, I always am looking up on Goodreads to make sure I look at the reviews, I look at everything. Thrifting not only is a outlet for finding popular books, but it's also a way for you to find underrated favorites. My 4th tip, you want to make sure you follow their newsletter or their email list or Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter, whatever the social media outlet they have. Make sure you know the deals that are going on. Thursdays are student discount days at Goodwill, and that's when I like to thrift. Thursdays, students get 20% off, 20 or 15% off their entire purchase with their ID card. And there's also military days and senior days and teachers and all that kind of stuff. So you want to make sure that you go on the best deals and you go and you get your money's worth. Also, a ton of thrift stores, I haven't been to a single thrift store that doesn't do this, but every week they usually have like a color of the week or even multiple colors, and sometimes you can even get 70% off or 50% off already on a cheap book. And like, I've gotten books for like 50 cents at times, and it's just, it's a grand old time. And then finally, I think my last tip, and probably my most important tip that kind of ties into going often, is you can't expect to find something every time. There are plenty of times that I go to thrift stores and I just don't find anything. In the clips you've just seen, I went to at least like the first 3 stores I went to, I didn't find anything. And you can't be discouraged by that. It happens, and that's just ties into the dedication and the patience. You can't get frustrated or irritated if you end up not finding things, because that's just the risk of thrifting your books. Actually, I think I have one more point. There's just some places that you just can't find any books, and I totally understand. There are outlets online for you. I have used Thrift Books as well as Book Outlet. Book Outlet is freaking awesome because most of the time they're brand new books for the price of thrift books. There are used books of course too, but always $3 to $5, $3 to $6, $3 to $7, so always super cheap. Thrift books is even more accessible because they're not only even cheaper, but you only have to pay $10 for shipping. I did have one case, if you saw my thrifted books haul, that one of the books came pretty damaged, but I literally just emailed Thrift Books and they gave me a refund immediately. Check out those websites. I will leave the links down below. Alright, so now let's just get into the haul portion. I only found 4 books today, so not a crazy haul as I've usually done. So the first book I found was Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. This is a mass-produced paperback, which kind of sucks, but I was like, it's fine. It just takes a little more effort, but it's really not that big of a deal. I think it has something to do with metallurgy sourced magic. It's kind of a fantasy setting where the bad guys won. I think that's what the plot is. If not, you know, I'm not expected to know a plot of a book that I've never read. I got this for $1.50 at Salvation Army, and the original book price was $8. So now the next book I got, I technically already have, but it is The Books of Ember by Jeanne Deprow, and this is a Borders exclusive. Oh my god, I have a resentment for Barnes & Noble for putting Borders out of business. Like, I honestly boycotted Barnes & Noble for like the majority of my youth, but anyways, we won't talk about that. Technically, I actually got this at my first thrifted book haul because I got City of Ember, but I found this and I figured this is like way better than having to try to find the other 2 books thrifted, so I'll probably end up just donating this one, and you know, hopefully somebody else can have a thrifted find. The City of Ember basically follows this kind of dystopian-esque society. Apocalyptic thing happened on Earth and they had to rebuild underground. So it's based in the city that is powered by electricity, and the electricity is going out, and we follow 2 characters who try to find this map to try to leave Ember or something along those lines. I really loved the movie when I was younger, and so I wanted to read the book and see how that compares. And it's like nice and floppy. Look at that. Ooh. That's a kink right there. So I found this at Team Amvets, which is my personal favorite thrift store for books. I just find so many good ones. Actually, that's where all of the rest of these are from. So 3 out of the 4, I found all of them at one store. Yeah, but this was $1.95 and the original price was $14. So literally gives me life. It adds years to my life when I can find great savings like this. It's just, I am such a cheap ass bitch. So the next book I found at Team Ambets was The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. I don't know much about this. I know it's a middle grade, and I know it's kind of like a darker kind of middle grade. I'm really falling in love with Neil Gaiman lately. His Sandman comics are one of my favorite comics ever, if not my favorite, so I've always really loved his writing. I've read American Gods and I've read a bit of Stardust, and I'm just like, I'm really into his writing. So I know a lot of people on BookTube really love this book, so I figured I could give it a show. You know, another good benefit of thrifted book is you find things in said book. Adding on to the haul, looks like I found a Harry Potter Ravenclaw sticker. Now, I'm not a Ravenclaw, but my dad's friend's daughter is a Ravenclaw and she's super into Harry Potter, so I'll end up giving this to her. But see, look at that! It's really cute too. It's nice and gold and reflective. Very pretty. I also got this for $1.95 and the original price was $18. And now, the final book I found at Team Ambets, I almost screamed, and that is the collector's edition of Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo. Now listen, I haven't read the Grisha trilogy. I haven't read Six of Crows. How could I not get this? This was the same with when I found the freaking Red Queen series. Like, I had to get it. It's like all gold. Grisha trilogy follows this girl named, don't remember, and she's a Grisha, is super powerful, and there's the Darkling who like everybody loses their shit for, and Mal who everybody hates, and Nikolai who everybody loves. I know the characters, I just don't really know the plot, and I know it's like Russian based folklore mythology, so I really do want to read this trilogy. I just haven't had time to yet. This was $19 and I got it for $1.95. Alright guys, so that is the end of this video. I really hope this helps you, and let me know down below if you have started thrifting because of me or will start thrifting because of me. I hope you guys do try these tips out and hopefully it helps you. I really want to do a separate yard sale dedicated video. I just am such a lazy bitch, and every single time I plan to film that video, I just don't want to get up super early. But if you guys really want it, please comment down below, make my lazy ass get up in the morning and film that video, because I want to help you guys get the deals. Comment down below your greatest thrift find. Doesn't have to be books, it can be clothes, shoes, anything. Let me know down below because I'm such a slut for that. And yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye!